It's Amy from Colorado Mountain Living. Wanted to give you guys an update of what's been going on at the house since we came back from vacation. So we kind of came back to the aftermath of a winter storm, and then within a few days we were kind of thrown into winter weather. The past few days we've had blowing winds, like 30-mile-an-hour gusts, like on a constant level, and even higher than that. We've had 50-mile-an-hour, 75-mile-an-hour gusts clocked around the county, and it's been thrown in with blowing snow. Now it's not like blizzard conditions, like we're not getting mass accumulations of snow, but we are getting just winter weather, and it's here, guys, and surprise, it's October and here we are with our winter weather already. There could be a warm up in the forecast, but we're working through it. But in between, before the winter weather got here, Brian did get started on the steel siding. So one of our friends was helping out. We were able to get a couple sides done on the house for the steel siding. There's a little bit more to do, kind of wrapping around the house still. We also got our delivery of the rest of the wood siding for the front of the house next to the front door. So there's that one wall left plus that little peak, and we have the siding. We had like 3 nice days last week, and I was able to stain all of that siding and prep it and get it ready for hanging. So once we get our next nice weather day, we'll be able to hang that up as well. With some of our bad weather, we worked down in the basement, just organizing, moving in tools. Now, if you saw the last video, you know that our canvas shed, got totally demolished in the winds while we were gone on vacation. So we've been moving tools and supplies into the basement from the shed, and we've been organizing all weekend, because it's just been such blizzardy conditions outside. Can't really work outside when it's 30-mile-an-hour winds and 20 degrees and 6-degree wind chill. It's just really not great for working outside. So trying to get things done on the inside. Also in the meantime, while Brian was working on siding, we had our excavator guy come up and start leveling the driveway. So one thing that he did was to put in an access all around the perimeter of the property where we're going to be putting our retaining wall. Now that Brian can drive his tractor down there, we'll be able to drill those holes. Hopefully that can get done before the ground totally freezes. That would be nice to have that project done before the winter. But they had to come back to finish the grading for the driveway. We're kind of waiting for the weather to break on that, but waiting to hear from them hopefully this week. And we'll have that driveway finished and graded. And then we can get some gravel or asphalt delivered up to the top of the driveway here, so we can at least get the surface of this driveway finished. Now, Brian does still plan to work on digging trenches for the driveway and moving some dirt. Now that we're getting this cold weather, it's like this is the time that we need to do it. So that is another project that might actually be happening today. So he plans to get out there on the tractor and start taking some of that dirt out of the way so we don't get buildup of snow drifts in the driveway like we had last winter. So that is another to-do list item. But we're trying to prioritize, trying to get things done in order that need to really, really happen. So right now, moving dirt in the driveway is a priority, because we don't want to have to deal with like frozen ground if the weather decides to stay cold. Now it does look like there's a warm up happening coming up at the end of the week. We've got 50-degree weather in the forecast, so it's not going to freeze just yet, but it's just it's one of those things that, who knows what's going to happen really. We still might get another 5 inches of snow this week, so not really sure. Can't really mess around. We still have to finish the railings on the deck. So that's another thing that's going to happen, and working on a few indoor things, finalizing our electrical permit, and just a couple little items there that we have to finish up to get that done. But yeah, that's the update, guys. I'm going to show you some footage of the siding and some of the excavating and some of the little adventures that we've had this week. How's that working out?
Pretty good. You noisy?
Smelly. So is that the special saw for cutting metal?
It's just the saw is not special. The blade is.
The blade, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's all.
All right. Getting started on the steel siding. So the first step was, look at this rickrack you put up on the side of the rickrack. It's anyway, a woman might know that sews what rickrack is, but those are your fairing strips. It's a different orientation than for the siding, for the wood siding. So basically you're just putting it on there so you can attach the steel siding.
Yes.
I see how it steps down. Then you got that middle piece so you can bridge the gap between those. So the bottom row is that's where the ground's going to get backfilled up to that level.
Yes.
Yeah.
There'll be stairs.
Yeah. So these will be
Stair
stairs.
step down.
Yes. And then only one long. So that's got to get backfilled all the way up to that level. Yes.
Actually lower than that.
Oh.
I had to attach the fairing strips. It goes a little bit more. I had to attach the fairing strips to the plastic tabs, and the plastic tabs were up higher.
Oh, okay.
So the metal will actually stick down a little bit more. But no, I don't have to dig the dirt out anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty close. It's 71 inches from there.
All right. So those screw directly into the plastic pieces on the foundation. There's one exposed right here, the plastic tie-ins. And then what are you screwing the siding onto?
The wood.
With
So the fairing strips.
yeah, but what are you using? Just regular screws?
No.
Oh, it's got that rubber washer on it. Cool. Nice.
Hopefully they go in pretty easy. There's no little cutout on it.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to drill through. So
Yep.
hopefully the hammer drill will drill it through.
All right, well, we got our contractor here this morning to come and work on the side of the house. So the first thing you're going to do is widen out down past the deck there, put a nice flat spot, and then follow the contour of the siding here. So here's how the steel siding is shaping up. Brian put on some pieces earlier this week, and then we're stepping down every 5 feet here. You can see it's going down another step. So we'll be getting this area excavated so it steps down all the way down to the front of the deck there. So here's a little update on the bees. Yesterday I consolidated all of the frames on both hives, so I took out all the empty frames and made sure they were packed filled with honey frames. And so I had these are all the frames I pulled out that weren't pretty much empty, but they had some honey, but nowhere else to put them. So letting the bees kind of take care of the extra honey. A lot of the cells were open on the honeycomb, so they can pull all that back out. A little bit of extra work for them, but at least it's not going to waste because they can bring it back inside the hives. There's a couple of frames that did have capped honey, so I actually might grab those for us because it's already capped, so the bees would have to do more work to chew off the cappings and get to access the honey inside. Or I could just save it for the bees in the spring. We'll see I'll just put it in the freezer and see how it goes this winter and next spring. So yeah, right now it's only 40 something degrees out, but the sun's a little bit stronger, but the bees are not wasting any time. They are getting all of this extra honey that's been left out, and they're bringing it back inside the hives. So they are looking good for the winter time. They are pretty much all packed in there with honey. So really good for them. Hey, how's the house looking? See how that steel siding's come down the sides? And we got one of our friends helping us today, working, Brian and Brian. They are working on the siding, getting it done. We've got some cold weather coming up next week, so we definitely want to get this siding part done so we don't have to do so much working outside. Still got a couple more sections of wood siding to do, but getting that steel siding done. So this is what it looks like when it's really got that steel bright color, but it'll blend much better once we do that acid treatment, and then we'll get that rusty dark brown color, kind of blend in with the dirt on the wall. So we had the excavator widen this area so Brian could get his tractor down here. This is what we had done this week. So next step is to put a wall in place so then we can do our stepping. But we've got a friend helping out today with the siding, and you can see they're making some pretty good progress. Almost the side entirely done. Now looking at this corner, this is undone intentionally because the corners of the foundation, Brian is going to be doing a stucco coat with stone. So it'll look like it's got stone piers, but it's just on the corners of the house. So it's not actually a pier itself, it's just going to be the look of a stone corner. So I think that'll definitely add to the design and will, you know, kind of bring together that rustic look with the log deck and everything. So where all these steps are, this is all going to get backfilled with dirt, and got one side done. Now let's check out the underside of it. The guys are set up here with their sawhorses, and under the deck, same thing. So the corner's flanked because that's going to get the stone treatment, and Brian's also been working on getting the framing of the windows done with the extra thick wood ledging. And so they're going to be coming around the door and then making their way to the other side as well. It's a little adventure going on in the woods. Brian's got the tractor and he's towing out a van. We had some stranded travelers in the woods today. They didn't realize that this was a Jeep road and not really a county road. Sometimes the GPS will tell you to take the Jeep road. This is a National Forest Service road, and sometimes I've seen where people get instructions to take this from Google or GPS to make their destination. But anyway, these folks didn't realize what kind of road it was, and they did not have the right kind of vehicle. And with the snow blowing today, it's creating drifts. So there's lots of very strong winds and light snow that's piling up, and they got stranded, and they knocked on our door to see if they could use the phone, but Brian offered to tow them out. So they're trying to back up. They got about, I don't know, like a quarter mile before the main road, but he's trying to see if he can get him some traction. But I think with all the way that the wind is blowing, there's not a lot for them to, they can't really back out with this vehicle that they have. So temperature outside is 30 degrees and wind chills is 18. Now you can see the wind speed at 16 miles an hour. The peak is what measures in the last couple of hours, so 17 is a high. We've had in the past 48 hours wind speeds of 29 miles an hour, I think even 32. But let me show you where the sensor is. Okay, it's spinning right there. It's right next to the cement mixer right there, and it's on the corner, sort of in the sheltered area. So we're not even probably catching max wind speeds with the sensor right there. Now, if it was out in the grass where it's really windy, we might be getting even higher wind speeds than what we're getting, because I think with it being close to the house like this, it's getting some blocking from, you know, the sheltering wind gusts from the side of the house here. So I don't even think it's measuring the max speed. So this is a mild day, guys. It was twice as windy yesterday, and it sometimes picks up more in the afternoon. So I'm imagining that as the day goes on, we're going to have even higher wind speeds. Doesn't look too dramatic right now. The trees are standing still, but the wind, you know, snow is coming in sideways. A very light, fine, misty snow. Nothing that's accumulating, which is fine by me. We got to move some dirt before we can enjoy deep snow falls right now. So guys, that's the update for this week. A bunch of little things going on, nothing really completed yet, working on the siding, getting that driveway done, and lots of snow. So
Lots of cleaning the basement.
lots of cleaning the basement during the snow squalls.
Throwing away stuff that hadn't been cleaned in 2 years.
Yeah. So yeah, being useful with our time still, but still kind of a bummer not to be able to get through all the siding on the long weekend that you had after
Yeah.
vacation.
So hopefully next weekend will be better. I'm off Friday, so.
Yeah, and it's good weather. We got 50 and sunny for a couple of days, so hopefully that'll be the key. But,
Get that wood part done.
yeah. Oh, and the stranded travelers did get out. Brian was able to pull them all the way to the road.
Yeah. So.
It's not a laughing matter, really, but
We'll
they could
drive
have
a
done.
Sprinter van in the Jeep Road.
Yeah. In the winter time, and when it's snowing and you have no traction. So, yeah. So that's the update, folks. We will catch you on the next video. Maybe give you some more detail on the corners Brian's working on. Vigo says good night, and we'll see you next time.
All right, take care.
Bye.